Here we are. We've got a few people in front of you who are and have done some really extraordinary things. These people are people that were in the room at Play Big last year or have been in the room at Play Big before, but not that long ago for most of them. In the past, we've invited folks onto the stage, lots of different, I think we're in our 14th year on Play Big. So we may have had folks that have been with us for 12 years, 20 years come up on the stage, folks that have been in the business building process for 10 years, like you saw Valerie and Tish and other people in the room. Then there are others that have been in the business building process for seconds, like 10 weeks. Angela said, now she's been building a business for 3 years, but she was in our community for 10 weeks. So it doesn't matter. Here's the thing I want you to pick up from that. It's totally possible for you to get this offer you're working on out into the world and funding you really well. So here we have in the audience, we have Emily Ward. Please say hello, Emily. And what I'd like to ask is as I bring you up here on the stage here, or actually just ask you to unmute, if you would please just give us your quick ankle show of who you are, and a little bit about your business. We are looking to bottom line so that we can get lots of responses from you to questions that I know these people in our audience want to know. So, Emily, tell us a short and sweet height and the hunger statement ankle show for us. Tell us a little bit about you.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Emily Ward, co-founder of Dramatic Stages and founder of Teacher Turnaround. I help stressed teachers who feel unfulfilled, overwhelmed, and have that sense of dread every morning when the alarm clock sounds to reignite their passion for the work they were born to do, instead of throwing in the towel or heading for the door. In the Teacher Turnaround program, clients learn to transform their personal and professional lives with research-based skills and a cutting-edge social-emotional approach to teaching that fosters confidence, creativity, connection, and community. Teacher Turnaround will enable you to tap an unlimited source of creative inspiration in a community of support. Don't sacrifice sanity and self-care another second. Reboot your teaching practice with proven skills and a transformational emotional awareness awakening that will set the stage for you and your students to flourish and change the world for the better.
Oh my gosh, Emily, it's really fun to hear that. I haven't heard that in a while. And what a neat thing that's happening here is that Emily is actually building the second thing here in this room that she's built with us. The first time around, she was working on her original business, and now she's got that up. She's got and you're going to hear a little bit more about that. So now she can add this next offer to her roster, to her flight path. So nice job, Emily. Thank you for
Awesome.
starting us out like that. Yeah, it's
Thank
absolutely
you.
fabulous. Let's go ahead and hear from Micah Hansen, Dr. Micah Hansen. We've met Dr. Micah Hansen, so a quick uh, ankle show would be super great, Dr. Micah.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Micah Hansen. I'm the founder of Teen Forward. And at Teen Forward, we help teens, parents, and families navigate the obstacles of adolescence and survive the teen years through transformative, holistic programs that meet our clients where they are and support their growth through grounding in the present and looking forward toward the future.
Fantastic. Thank you, Micah. Nice to have you in the room. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Micah. All right, let's hear from Alicia Wilcox. Hello, Alicia.
Hello, I am Alicia Wilcox, the CEO of Alicia Wilcox Copywriting. I am an expert conversion copywriter who writes words that sell for industry-defining entrepreneurs.
Nice job. She's good at her job, isn't she? Nice and short and sweet. We got it all. Thank you very much, Alicia. Nice to have you in the room here. All right, let's hear from Michael, Coach Michael, Michael Franks. Oh, you're muted. We'll ask you to unmute.
There we go. Michael Franks. I am the founder and creator of Dauntless Coaching. Working with me, people develop greater confidence, clarity, and independence. They go from living on a parallel track to the career they want, to being on the track of the life and career they truly desire. They're able to create greater financial and creative success, landing the work that they want, and getting there faster than they would otherwise.
Thank you very much. Nice, clear, simple. We get it. We really love that. Thank you, Michael. Nice to see you again up here. We've seen a lot of you. It's wonderful. And then last but not least, we'd love to hear from Cheryl Staller. Hello, Cheryl.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Cheryl Staller. I'm from Oak Park, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, and I'm virtual, the family well-being parent coach and founder of Staller Parent Coaching. Through my introductory Family Fresh Start Do-Over program, I work with parent couples who are suffering, struggling to shift their family's interactions from reactive and really hurtful to composed and safe between themselves and with their sensitive, highly charged young kiddos. In this foundation portion of my family well-being program, I inspire, coach, and train parents to notice, plan for, and create those loving shifts within themselves first.
Oh my gosh, you've come so far. So Cheryl's been working on that particular offer. It's a 3-month little mini course that she's going to teach to as part of her funnel into her business. She's been working on that in the room, in the private rooms with me, and also just on her own. Just high five that you try. There are two of the folks here, at least two of you, tried out your heighten the hunger statement for your new offer in the room. I love that. That's the first time I've heard it. Good job, both of you. That would be Emily and Cheryl. Were trying new things out. I think, yeah. Okay, so nice to see you all in the room here. We have a couple of questions, and what we're wanting to get here into the space is your story. I want our audience to begin to understand what the actual reality is of how you go from an idea that is kind of big or talent and capability that you've been doing in one arena. Many of you here were succeeding. Cheryl Staller and Dr. Micah and Emily already doing what they are still doing to some degree, but not in the way that was actually serving their lives very well. We want to hear that story. We want to hear the, from zero to hero story from Michael, and we want to hear Alicia's story as well. She was in the Play Big room, and she has a really amazing story for Play Big alone. So we're going to hear those stories. I'm going to go ahead and say to all of you, if you in our panel here, if you want to respond, just put your actual hand up, and I'll call on you, and we'll just go around. Imagine if we were passing the mic, there was a mic in real life, and you just handed the mic over to your sister or your friend there and said, "Here, you answer that." So, I'll say, "Please pass the mic to Cheryl. Please pass the mic to Dr. Micah." Got it? So, all right. So, the first thing I want our audience to understand is what is the title? If you were going to give a title for the journey of where you were to where you are now in the on the success panel, if you were to just kind of give that book a title or whatnot, what would that title be? Who has that answer for me? Michael. So we need you to come off mute. Thank you so much. I think it just goes to sleep if he's not hugging it.
It must just automatically go to mute. Leap of faith, and also not the words, but the music. And I can explain that if you want, or just.
Yeah, definitely. Explain both. All of you can explain a little bit of that journey. So tell us a little bit about why you title your journey that way.
Someone's dog. Oh,
that would be Micah. That would be Dr. Micah, I bet, right?
It's her fur child. Well, leap of faith, because where I started, which was, I get very emotional in a way because I'm so grateful for where I have journeyed to. But in the very beginning, it was really, I could not see what Melissa saw in our conversation. She saw what was possible, and I had no clue about how I had been successful in one arena of my life for many years, and now I was trying to create an alternative income stream at this point in my life, which just seemed daunting. And like I said, I get a little choked up just thinking about it, but it was a leap of faith, and it was also based on, because Melissa had asked me, what did I say, or what was it that really got you to take that leap of faith? And it really wasn't one thing in particular, but it was her come from. It was where she was coming from, and then I could have the trust that even though I couldn't see it, that somehow I was going to be supported through this difficult process, transforming from where I was to where I could be. And like I said, I really, if a lot of you are in the same place, worried and fearful and not knowing and feeling like, I don't know, this is not for me. Believe me, I've been there.
Yes, Michael and I talked a few times. Thank you, Michael. And each time, the window of light coming open a little bit. But really, ultimately, I remember that. It was just at some point, it's that 1 hour, 5 days, like at some point, I'm just going to take all the information I have. I don't have enough information. I've watched you do that not once, but over and over again. Every time landing on your feet just fine. But that really is what we mean by you need more than just you. You need to trust. So having that music there, not the specific, this is the one thing that just made me be like, I know I can do it. I just love that, Michael. I thought that was beautifully said, the way you said that. Thank you. And I'm so glad you leaped and that you continue to leap. Michael leaped into building his business and then he leaped into, I think I'd like to get some additional skills in the coaching skill set. And so he put himself into that program as well in the second year. So, and you are just such a fabulous coach, Michael. I'm so glad that
Thank
you
you.
took this on. Yeah. You are, so many people are going to be really lucky and are already lucky because of that. So thank you.
Thank
Who
you.
else? A title for your story? Emily, then maybe Cheryl.
So the title for
Emily,
my
yeah.
story is I couldn't see the forest for the trees, and I realized that I can get federal buildings unlocked on Sundays. And I didn't realize my superpowers, and I didn't think they could apply. And it really, with the skills and that belief, everything was possible for me.
Oh my gosh, Emily, I loved when you said this to me earlier. You said this phrase, everybody that was in the room talking about this, because we all met for lunch for a moment. What she means, so tell us what you mean by I can get federal buildings
Meaning,
unlocked on
the
Sundays.
impossible is possible. And I know that from my work in the New York City public school system. I mean, just getting 5 minutes with a principal, getting a room to work with students, making sure your lead is there on the day you're doing a presentation. It's essential that you have superpowers or you be eaten alive. And I feel like when I really got the trust in the fact that I got this, I've been in public schools in New York City for 25 years. And just as an actor in New York City, to survive, you got to use your goods, your superpowers, and that they came to my rescue. And I think that kind of unleashed me, that coupled with the skills and the tools I learned from CSC.
Emily, when you say I couldn't see the forest for the trees, I know that you're referring on a level, let me know if I'm wrong on this, but to just how many different skills you can hear it. Did you just hear all the capability set that she has? We call that the equity set, right? All those years of experience. But that's a lot to look at. And I know a lot of you all are going through that in the room. You're looking at how many things and where do I start and which things do I pick up to put in that offer and which offer should I start first with? But it's all there. It's
Yeah,
all there. You
that
can
trust.
just calm down and we can see the, forest and see that I have that capability. Is that right, what you meant by that? Or is it something
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think, I am resourceful, and that's, necessary, and I got to embrace that. And it kind of gives you the belief, and with the belief, everything's possible. Without the belief, you wait for perfection and you wait for, divine intervention, and, you got to just take action and know that you got it. So I
I
feel
just
like
love
that.
that factor. Oh, that's so good. It's so important. At some point, you have to bet on you.
Yeah.
I once had a really great coach as I was in the transformation that I went through who said to me, if you can't believe in yourself, can you believe in my belief in you? It was a really helpful thing. Okay. It was one step away from what Emily's got. But I didn't have for sure that. So I love that you've got that rock solid, I believe in me. I can get into buildings on a Sunday. I love it. Federal buildings. Thank you, Emily. All right, Cheryl, let's hear your title to your story. Oh, you were unmuted, but now you're muted. So that was lovely though, didn't it? The flourish was good, wasn't it?
So this is what I've been waiting for.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Tell us what you
Um,
mean.
I've been a coach since 2009, a parent coach specifically, having done different trainings, coming across different business coaches, and they were selling me hard, and I just like, you're not showing me you're not showing me that you've done what it is you're saying you know how to teach. And I walked into the room with a big one of I don't know if it was Play Big or something smaller first. I don't remember, but it was, this is worth investing in. This is what I've been waiting for. And so even before I left the program, I knew I was in, because, and this is the vulnerable part, I couldn't let what my family went through, what I went through, what my kids went through, that suffering to be in vain.
Hmm.
And this is all I have left, kind of thing. This has to be my legacy in terms of helping make sure that other families, what's preventable will be prevented with everybody I work with.
You're reminding me of something you said to me not long ago. I'm remembering that part of that story that turned you in, like really turned your results around. Thank you for that. I needed to get the right support, the right help. But you also said to me at one point, I had a you had a shift when you realized that your clients needed to
Invest.
care. What was it? They
I-
needed to invest in themselves, like you did it.
Their
Yeah.
family success and investment has to be as important to them as that is to me.
I see. Yeah, and when you got that, what happened? Like how is that part of your success story? That piece as
That
well.
with that, when you said, Cheryl, you've got to charge 15,000 for them to be with you a year.
Mhm.
You're going to. And I said, okay, just okay. And I had gone from maybe like usually 1,500 for 3 months for a number of clients, but
Okay.
not a huge number, to, so that's why I can make the shift I have to having earned money with less work and more free time. But knowing that I mean, I know what I know and what I've lived and what I bring to
Thank you. I
parents.
get that connection that until you could value and stand for them valuing the outcome as much as you were going to work as hard as, if for them to work as hard and come to the table when you claimed that, I'm going to price something so that you have to come to the table saying this matters. Then I know that the change will happen for you, my client. And that also made a huge change for you,
Right.
Cheryl, but it was the thing that turned, I hear that, thank you. It turned everything around for you, your own income, but also the way you felt in your business and the success you're getting right now, the results you're getting right now. I like that. Thank you for both of those. Dr. Micah, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so I have two, of course, because Gemini. My first one is just like that, question mark. And the second is from darkness to enlightenment. And I talked about the second one, darkness to enlightenment, a lot during my video that y'all showed last night. My journey from, being a teacher and then not being a teacher and being kind of a not almost here anymore to, oh, now I'm going to do my dissertation and then I'm going to start this business. And the just like that question mark is from, it's my biggest memorable moment from my first Play Big, where you, I think, had me spotlit and you were asking me about my timing and I was like, well, I'm going to finish my dissertation, and you were like, and then what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to start my business. And you said, just like that? And I was like, I guess. And that was the moment for me where I was like, no, I need to be starting now. Like, the when, then, now, how. Like, I need to start now so that when I finish my dissertation, I have a business. And that's what I did. And it has worked out. I mean, not just for me, but for the kids I work with, for the families. I would have missed 2 years of working with families, and those kids now have that time, and their parents have that time. And I didn't understand time like I do now, back then.
That's beautiful, Micah. Thank you. I like just, thank you. I always forget what I say. So I know where it comes from. It comes from that source that's always there, but I let it go to you and then I let it go. I will say to you, Micah, that was also something that was part of my own transformation, was the when, then, now, how. When I have this, then I'll do that instead. And just learning that one shift made such a difference for me too. Just now I know I need this. How can I do this right now? Not later, but now. So I don't have to wait 5 days to get out of the canyon or not make it out of the canyon, right? Micah, that's a great title. Alicia, let's hear from you last but not least, I think, or did I get all the titles? I did. What's your title to your story?
Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you for checking.
I think mine would be took my goals off the pedestal, because working with CSE, I've just learned to kind of make myself as big as like even my biggest goals.
Oh, that's so great. Take my goals off the pedestal. I totally hear her putting herself on that pedestal too, right up there I'm just thinking of the Olympics recently, right? All of the winners standing right up there with those gold medals, and she puts herself up there first. Golds are down here, bronze and silver. She's up there on gold. That's fantastic, Alicia. That's a great metaphor. Thank you. All right, so let's hear a little bit about the struggle, folks. I know that it's fun to hear about the results, but we do know that how we go from today, and we're about halfway through the event right now. So how are we going to go from today out into Monday is a question we begin to want you all to take a look at. Is where will I be on Monday based on how I'm behaving right now? And we have a lot of time. Think about how much has happened in the last day and a half. We still have that much left to go through, like a lot of good, a lot of decisions to get done, a lot of business, so don't panic. And we are going to get out of this space after a little while, so beginning to look at that. So just taking a look at the struggle and how to get through that. I want a lot of that to happen in the room here. So if you could share with us, each of you, or some of you, whoever wants to share, on what result do you have now? I'm going to ask you about the struggle in a minute, but first let's talk about what you felt was unattainable before. So what is the thing that you have now that you didn't think was possible? We heard from Michael already on this, I appreciate the vulnerability that Michael gave us there. Like, it chokes him up. When you realize, you guys, all right, now I might get choked up. When I made the changes that I made, it really was a difference for my family on such a massive level. What I could bring them, that was just, it was looking just completely unattainable. And everything changed when I started learning the skills that we're teaching here in this room, and I applied them now and how, with now and how. So Michael, or anybody, anyone can start here. Just raise your hand, let me know. What was that? What was felt unattainable that now feels attainable? Or is attainable? Go ahead, Micah, and let's make sure everyone's unmuted. You guys are unmuted when you talk.
Yeah, so I'm sitting on a success panel for business owners at a business weekend, because I was an English teacher and I wanted to be a teacher since I was in first grade, and businessing and entrepreneuring was never on this list, right? And just like to be somebody that like stands out as someone who has been really successful in my business, is I'm like super jazzed right now. Just to be here in this space is way cool. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but that's what I'm feeling.
Oh, it's really true. It's exactly true. Yep, exactly. when Kylie came to her first Play Big years and years ago, and we had her. She then entered into a program, and we had people writing on stick notes at a retreat that we had in the middle of the year program, and she put on people put things on the program or on the wall, and one of them was, "I want to do what Melissa's doing." And it was really hard for her to say that. And look at the girl; she's doing way more than the Melissa's. I'm like, I want to do what Kylie's doing. I want to. So that's just so great, Micah. And the impact you can have now, you're just getting started, Micah. Who else? What was unattainable that is now attainable? What did you think was unattainable before, Michael?
Well, I second what Micah said, is that this was not even at all possible for me to be sitting here and talking about how I've created this business. I thought, oh, years down the line, maybe, if at all. But yeah, so that's one thing. And having a thriving business that is a alternative to what I've done my whole life. That's something that when we started, I know you said that was doable, but I didn't see it. And so that's what I'm saying. That, I mean, I'm clear that was not something that, I thought in the back of my mind, maybe, but I just really, so that's what I'm saying. It's really surprising to me. And I feel so much more comfortable now than I could not have done this 18 months ago. I would not feel comfortable doing this. So whatever thought process and whatever I worked myself through, although it looks like what people see today, what you don't know about me is that I was terrified, and I was in a very dark place. I didn't know what else I was going to do. Somewhat of a desperate place too, which is not a great place to be when you're trying to be creative or come up and do something that's difficult. So I had to get out of that mindset, that place. I had to find my way through that, like you say, with a flashlight, like you talked about earlier, about finding who I needed to talk to, what I needed to hear, how many times I needed to hear that. I did work with myself. So it's a process. And so it's not overnight. It's definitely a process. And you look back and you see the distance, but going forward, you don't see it at all. And so
That's so good. Yeah. It's fun for me in the room always, because I can see you. I can see all of you. And by the way, for those of you listening to the panel right now, I can see you through my coach's eyes. We talked for 2 hours last night after everyone went home, and I found out about everybody in the room and what your dreams and hopes are. I've read your answers front and back. I know you well. When I saw Michael, I knew that Michael could build this business. I knew that others would benefit so greatly from it, but he didn't. So yeah, I just love that. Not possible. For many of us, we don't know what is possible for us. That's why it's so important to be able to try and dream and to have help. So thank you, Michael. That's great. I saw a hand up from Emily. What was not attainable? Alicia, I think. I'm not sure who I saw here. So yeah, butt in. Emily, what was not attainable?
I was just going to say that working in a nonprofit for, almost 25 years, I just thought part of the gig required me to have a second or third job. That was just the way it was.
Oh my gosh, I am sure there are people in the audience that can relate to that, man.
So it's like I'd work, an 8-hour day and then go bartend for 6-7 hours, and because it was a time I could work and it wouldn't interfere with my day job, and that was really hard. And, to be able to make the money in an hour to go do a workshop, to create something, it's a different life. Truly.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Who's next? Thank you. Oh, Emily, Alicia. I had a feeling you might jump off of that because I know where you're going. So yeah, well, Alicia.
That reminded me, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, just like making a full-time living and being financially independent with my business and not having to have a job I didn't want to have, is now, the realities. So, but also just charging what I want to charge. And I remember last year at Play Big, it was like I charged 2,500, and you told me to charge 5,000 plus, and I was like, there's no way. And then it took me like months to change it to that price, and now it's like all of my clients are that and plus. And so I think that felt really unattainable at the time.
Yes, I want you all to know it was so fun. I hope you get to see a little bit of this with Alicia when she tells her story. It was so fun to work with her in the room, just like many of you when we get you up here. And the coaches go back later and they're like, "Wasn't that fun to watch that?" Oh, that's going to happen. That we're going to see a new part of that person tomorrow. Like it's so fun. But you, Alicia would giggle. She would say, we'd say, "Well, how about we double that?" And she would go, "Okay." Like she's doing right now. She was just like,
I didn't
But the
realize I did
thing-
that.
Oh, it was so great. It was so sweet. But the thing is, she did it. She just adopted, and you did it. You were scared. She was very willing to be like, okay. She smiled the whole time. I love that aspect of you, Alicia. You're like, oh, okay. But you did it. Like all of you here on the panel. Thank you, Alicia. Yeah. That's great. Unattainable, charging double. Unattainable, getting everyone to pay that all the time. Unattainable. She actually did. She slipped it in there. We'll hear more about this later, but not just double. So, hear more about that later. Cheryl, let's hear from you. What was unattainable?
That my empathy for parents blocked my willingness to charge a lot.
That is a good comment. It's wise.
And helping get to the point of actually, no, they put out money, and money's not an object when it's professionals for the kids. It's like, what the hey? You are the most important service your child needs. Invest in you, period.
Yeah, you can see some clapping going on. Stephanie's clapping, others, yes, exactly. That's interesting. So unattainable was that willingness to stand for, and we heard it earlier, like to take that stand. It was not attainable to charge what they needed to pay. Write that down. What do they need to pay? Not what do you need to have them pay, but what do they need to pay to show up? And Valerie, by the way, just Valerie Hubbard, that's what I was trying to speak to is I need them to pay that for you to get the right client in the room that you can really help. That's what I was saying in the room. So Cheryl, that's beautiful. All right, I have more questions. So I would like to know a little bit of what the struggle actually looked like. And what I'm looking for here, because I know it's really helpful for folks if we know this, is just the symptoms and the evidence. Like, what did that look like? For me, it was, I won't even go on about me. So what did the struggle before we got the results kind of look like? Alicia.
I think, one of my first steps was doubling my rate, which I was like, oh my gosh, I literally can't do that. So it really forced me to level up, and I took like 1 million courses on copywriting. And I was like, if I'm charging 5,000, I need my clients to be making at least that within like a month of, whenever we release the website. And I was like terrified to charge it, but it really forced me to like level up. And so I think that was a huge like learning curve that I got past.
Okay, we can just see the cartoon on that, can't we? Just the desk piled, the eyes super red with the millions of studies going on, the 3 a.m. clock ticking, and as she's learning. That's what the struggle looked like. And before you were earning that, I'm just curious, what were you looking at if you hadn't learned to do that? What did you, when you came into Play Big last year, what did that struggle that you might have, because Alicia had just graduated, right? Is that right?
Yeah, well, I didn't graduate yet, but
that's right. She hadn't even graduated yet, and she was clocking for what I know you guys are at. Some of you are like, really? But yeah, that's her. Right. So good. So you hadn't graduated yet. She'd set a rate. She'd begun to get something, right? But what did your life look like? The struggle. What was it gonna like? What was it already looking like it might look like?
Well, I thought I would have to get a different job, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So I realized I needed to look look at the client results more. Like I knew that they were happy with what I was writing, but when you target a different client, you need to really make sure that it's ROI positive. So I started like going into their back end and measuring things and stuff like that.
That's fantastic. So it looked like a not you just saw it. She has very little, like, she won't even talk about that struggle that she might have had because she was not going to have it. But it was going to look like a day job. It was going to look like a different job. All right, good. Thank you. Who else? What did the struggle look like? And we're going to spend about another 5 or 10 minutes in questions, and we'll see where we are. If you all have questions for this panel and you're really dying to ask one, we would like you to put it in chat, all caps question : if you have a particular question for a person. We don't have much time for Q&A right now, but you may be able to ask that person questions later. So we're going to give you a little bit of time, not a huge amount of time. So we'd like to know if there are specific questions. Now, please don't ask it if it's not burning. It's better just to listen to the story. All right, so who can tell me about the struggle? Micah, Dr. Micah. And
So my struggle was that now I realize I was kind of falling right back into the same pit that I had just crawled out of, because I wasn't really consciously facing this yet, but the path that was before me was going back into a classroom and teaching, because when you're a teacher and there's teachers in this space, you are a teacher. And it's really hard. It's like the gutters on a bowling alley. It's really hard to see yourself, even if I do a lot of teaching now, but it's hard. It was really hard and impossible, I think, for me to step out of that identity as a classroom teacher. And I have no doubt that if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now and hadn't done the things I did, I would be in another struggle for my life, because I'd be standing in a classroom again.
right,
And
with that dissertation capability, but still in a classroom getting paid what you were getting paid then, and being able to touch that 30 people or whatever.
And being 10 years older,
Yeah,
20 years older.
Interesting. What else? Michael, I think Cheryl, I don't know who had their hand up. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because I've been sitting here trying to remember, because it's funny how you forget all the pain parts, like having a baby. I guess I've never had a baby, but I understand that's what happens. You forget the pain part, right? So
he has 4 kids, you guys, so he does know about that. Anyway,
three. Don't add
three kids.
But I've never actually experienced that particular pain. But so as I started to think about it, I realized there were so many things. Being what I do for a living for so many years was about perfection and about doing it the best possible. And that I was brought up with David O. Selznick, it's either first class or no class. Those are the 2 classes. And so for me to embark on something that I didn't feel I knew anything about, that was difficult. And then I was, a lot of the times was just wanting it to be perfect and I can't do it until it's perfect. I can't say it until I have it right. And letting go of that and realizing that flipping the script, so to speak, in terms of realizing that there were people who actually needed what I could contribute, and that I was really standing in my own way and standing in their way, and to allow it to be imperfect at first until I could refine it was that was a breakthrough. And then also talking to the community that I didn't necessarily go to a coach. I would go to another client and ask, what did you do? How did dinner, blah, 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 asking questions, constantly asking questions, and taking responsibility for me for the getting the information that I needed, that it wasn't up to anyone else. And it was a struggle. You talk to a lot of people here. MB called me Eeyore at one point. She said that memory of me was Eeyore, and I was like, really? She goes, oh yeah, I can't do this. Really, I can't imagine that. But anyway, so I can laugh at it now.
Yeah.
It's a process of learning how to learn again and how to be a novice. When at my age, I was a master in one area, and to allow myself to be a novice and to learn what I didn't know and be willing to be coached and willing to admit I didn't know.
And you know, Michael, that really resonates for me. And what I'll say, if I was to tell you what that struggle looked like for me, and Michael shared a little bit about this, is when we do have that, I need to be perfect, first class or no class, all of that. What happens is we wait longer. We do the when then longer. Then someone like Alicia, who is like out of school and like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm not even out of school. She hasn't fallen flat on her face and may never fall flat on her face because she's got this, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do that. And she's also, but we've been through all the careers. I'd been through career. Michael had been through a career. We've got that pride and that hubris and that way of thinking called now, I need to get it right. I need to be perfect. That we call it getting ready to be ready, just itis, right? And not wanting to be the novice again, or feeling like we really shouldn't be. We'll lose everything.
Not
It was
wanting to
really
look
big for me
bad,
too.
not wanting to look bad. That, that's
Not wanting to look bad. Right. And so we waste that time. We spend those extra 4 days in the canyon, or 40 years. In my case, it was definitely a decade. And I once did the math on it, $2 million for sure that I lost in income that I could have had if I could have just gotten out of that icky, ugly pride that I had, and that hubris that I didn't need this. And so I really get you there on that. That was big for me too. I appreciate the honesty on that. I'm going to want to hear some metrics shortly here. Because I know our time is running short here, and we do know that clients like to hear what's really possible metrics wise. So we're going to roll into that in just a second. Cheryl, if you'd like, you can make the struggle look short. If you can make it short, we did hear a lot about your story, so I know they know a little bit about where it had gotten to. But if you have a one-liner for me, feel free.
The creative ADHD, creative ideas all over the place, my energy and efforts, sometimes doing Facebook posts, sometimes doing, and it was never, so I was all over the place with a lot of wasted time and energy. It was fun sometimes, but not often, but it was wasted time and energy versus you and Kylie and the whole team just, okay, Cheryl. And now, so learning how to create the framework, the structure, and keep me on track. I mean, truly, with the details as well as the strategy, I could not have asked for anything
Girl, I
better.
get that too. Yeah, no, I can see a lot of shaking heads right here in the panel. It's not that you weren't smart. I love that. It was fun sometimes. That was funny. Like fun, but not great results. I get that. Definitely knowing the right thing to do and in the right order. Sometimes we're doing the right thing just in the wrong order. That's really demoralizing too over time, because you're a super smart person, but you can't seem to get the result you need. It's very frustrating. So yeah, I hear that. Thank you for giving us that image. I've definitely been there. I see shaking heads like, yeah, of doing all the things and, so thank you for that. So I know I'm going to want to hear from you about your metrics. Let's rapid fire the metrics. Just here are my metrics now. And then if there's anything you want to say about what's one thing you wish that you had known before you were able to make the transformation that you're sitting happily in now, and you would like to leave our audience with, that would be really helpful. I know that we've been getting from producer Caitlin that we do need to close up shortly. We might take a question, but get that one ready. The one thing you would have liked this group to know. I may take a question if there's anything burning in the chat. Is there, or are we good to go? Great. So, but let's hear those metrics. All right, we're going to do rapid fire metrics right now. Who would like to go first? And what I've asked them for is the actual result. So that could be money, time, energy, impact, numbers of clients, number of hours gained back, things like that. I asked them, like, what can we actually point to that is better? More happy for you, and not just emotionally, because we all feel, oh, it's just better. And it's not only just money sometimes, but I asked for those metrics, and we do like to hear the money metrics as well. So I forced them. I said, please tell honestly what your stats are. So please give us your stats. Who would like to go first?
I'll
Share
give
your
it a
stats.
As of today for 2024, have earned 3 times as much as I did in 3 years combined of before CSE.
Oh my God, that's great. We are not even done with the year, Cheryl. That's awesome. That is awesome. Fantastic, Cheryl. That must feel great. That must feel great. So much more you can do there too. Who else has a stat?
I started within 5 months. I had 2 clients within my first 5 months, and then I tripled that by the end of that first another few months, so not even a full year. And now I've only 18 months or so. I've had worked with a dozen clients. I've earned mid 5 figures, and the other thing that
From nothing, from a career that he didn't even know he was going to do, from a skill set that he didn't even think he had. I mean, yes.
yeah, and the
And
other
not
side,
uncommon, but uncommon in his mind. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
exactly. And the other side of it is that the fulfillment is what an unexpected benefit of doing this, that I never I really connected with something that I really wanted to do for a long time, was to help other professionals get a leg up and learn what I did and not make the same mistakes I made. They'll make different ones, but still I can help them move forward faster. And
It's very rewarding,
it's
right?
very
Yeah.
rewarding. It's incredibly rewarding, and having the dual careers now, cinematography and directing, as well as this, I didn't realize that my creative life would be different in a
Oh,
different way. So
I love that. That we call that cross pollination,
and you
the
said that
excitement
would
and energy
happen,
that
but I
comes.
had no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. It just it's we I love that. It's part of the core mission that I have built into this business is that cross pollination in your lives, whatever it looks like. Michael, thank you. That's great. Stats, Emily, stats, Alicia, stats, Dr. Micah.
So I started with, I've doubled my income firstly, and I also diversified the people that I'm serving. So I'm able to serve through nonprofit organizations, because sometimes the DOE paying in New York City is, you can wait an eternity. And
Yes.
so more partnerships, serving more vulnerable populations through the United Way and another nonprofit. So makes me
Fantastic.
feel better about the work. Thank you.
So fantastic. Yeah. And you told me the other day that you had that in that second stream of income, the work pays more and it takes less time
Oh, yeah.
and it's more rewarding. It's like a triple threat better. I was really impressed with that. I think it's important that we get to do the work we love, making more money in less time
Right.
and diversifying. I mean, that's called leverage, you guys. We want that fastest path to the best cash. That is awesome cash for her. Diversified, impactful, the right, better, more. It's not just more money, right? Not just less time, less money. So good. Love that. So, Alicia, Dr. Micah, stats.
Yes, since I started working with CSE 10 or 11 months ago, I multiplied my income by 8, and most of my income now comes from clients who just pay me 10,000 a month. So I know I mentioned I was like terrified to charge over 2,500. So I feel a lot more like stable in my business, which was literally like all I wanted. So yeah.
So, and what I do know about those 10,000 a month is that they aren't just 10,000 a month, Alicia, right? You've got them on a retainer for a while, right? You've got the scope is pretty long as well. Is that true?
Yeah, it's like years long, multiple years. So it's
So
really good.
she's gotten them to sign a contract that is at least a year long, $10,000 a month. She's got a few of those clients. Can you imagine how that could change her life? That's a $120,000 increase, a $240,000 increase in her income, but not just now 10,000 this month and now I have to work that hard again. No, she's secured that for a year, or as Alicia says, 2 years, whatever. That's life changing for not just Alicia. She shared with me some goals she has about taking care of family and things like that down the line, and I also know she's pursuing creativity. So I mean that is just that's just a wide open canyon right there. So Alicia, thank you for those stats. And Dr. Michael, last but not least, I think let's hear your stats. Awesome, also
Yes.
awesome. Yeah.
So I at the about halfway through year 3, I hit the $100,000 mark for the first time in my business. So that was amazing. And I have a speaking engagement contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield next year to work with their parents. And then the last thing that nobody's really kind of talked about that I think is super important, at least for me, is I counted there are 6 people in this Play Big space right now, aside from coaches, that I either have collaborated with or will be collaborating with. So just like an amazing amount of connections, and it's like so exciting.
It's a much easier lift, isn't it, when we have all those partners, and it becomes more fun and we grow so much more easily. We call that standing on the shoulders of giants. When you partner with each other and you lift each other up, it just makes everything so much easier. So that I love that exponential factor that's in there that can happen through that. Micah, thank you, Dr. Micah. All right, folks. So I want to know, what is one thing that you would tell this audience as we get ready to leave the stage here right now? What is one thing that you would tell your younger self or your before self, if you could? Something that you wish that you had said, you had known, or that someone had said to you at that point, for them to really hear for themselves as they go back into building their offers, go back into believing in the idea that's still a little fuzzy for some of them. They may not be earning enough yet. They may be earning a lot, but in some day job or a different realm or something. So what is it that you wish you had heard or you would like to say to them? And let's get those hands up, please. Cheryl, let's hear it.
The world needs you.
Hmm.
Go big.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Micah, Dr. Micah, I saw that hand go up.
You are ready, do it right now.
Be brave, take
Emily.
action. Be brave and
Be
take
brave,
action.
take action.
Yeah.
Who else?
Yep. I would do it now. Carpe diem. Fear is not a reason, that fear is never going to go away. You have to act in spite of your fear, and everything is possible once you just do it.
Would you leap? That net will appear, right, Michael? And Alicia, last but not least, what would you
I
say?
was also going to say, don't wait, and just come to terms with the fact that like you are going to be the one who has to take action and make that business idea come to life.
Oh,
I have
beautiful.
to
I
say
like
one
that
thing.
last.
I've heard so many business ideas in this 24-hour period of things that could change people's lives so significantly in so many ways that that's the thing to remember. That's more important than your fear is what your contribution is.
Oh. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone. That's a great, great last note there for us. Thank you all. That was so terrific to hear from you. Please put your hands in the air for our wonderful success panel. Cheryl, Dr. Micah, Michael the coach, Alicia, and Emily Ward. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to the space, you guys. I really appreciate it. All righty. Wow. So, in just a few minutes, we are going to go to a break where you can breathe and think before we come back for that spotlight session tonight. But before we do that, I want to just take a moment and breathe and take a look at where we are right now in the event. And Isaac, when I can have slides, that will be helpful, no rush. Michael said something just there. He said there's so many things. I remember we get stuck in can I, who am I to, I don't know if I can. And for you all, I kept myself back for a long time because I was the single mom I just thought, I'm not sure I have enough energy. And I had these coaches telling me, Melissa, you can do this. I had an hour a day. It really is true. Some days I didn't have any hours. But I had that, oh, it's about me and my situation. Instead of getting that the idea was calling me from somewhere that already existed with lots of wealth and support and success available to me in the realm of the people that needed the thing. And if I could stop thinking about me so much and think more about them. So I say to our team all the time, let's go help some people. Let's go make a difference. And to myself, you'll hear me in the morning if you're ever in my house, like a little bird in my room, because, birds are always in someone's room, whatever about that metaphor. Like if you're sitting at like fly on the wall or something, you'll hear me saying, all right, McFarland, let's help some people. All right, McFarland, what can we do with you? How can we lift your gifts out in the world right now? And when I stopped thinking that it had anything to do about me, how perfect I was or not perfect, you guys have seen lots of imperfection, I'm sure. I'm sure you all have ideas for how you would fix my slides and my content. Great. What am I willing to do? Not what do they think I can do, but what am I willing to try to do was the thing that changed things for me. So that dream, believe, commit, embrace is the process we go through all the time here at CSE. And I love this quote here at this point, if you haven't the strength to impose your own terms, then you must accept the terms that life offers you. And boy, was that happening in my life. If you'd like to get the same results as these people, I want you to just take a moment to imagine yourself with your own creative business, not a practice, not beautiful, thank you, not hourly charging for whatever, but an actual whole successful business that produces reliable, repeatable income in the way that you want. Doing what you love, getting paid well for working, not so much, with really happy clients that are really getting results. You can have as few or as many of them as you want. You get to call the shots. I want you to think about that. What would that be like for you? No matter who you are in our room right now. Right now, this is what I am able to enjoy. I am free to do what I want. Do I have constraints? Do I have a team that I need to feed and things like that? Yes, I have responsibilities, but they are responsibilities I want. And the experience of living into them. Sometimes I work 60-hour week, and sometimes I work a 20-hour week. Sometimes I don't work that much at all. I'm about to take a month largely off in Italy. Create income on demand. I know where to go to find a client, and I know how to close, attract them, close them, and keep them. Work from wherever I want. And now my mission is to help you, other creatives like me, to achieve what I've achieved. We've given you the process so far here in the room. We're going to learn more. We're about two-thirds into the content now. And you're going to learn a lot more. But mostly we've begun to outline the process. Flight path, first offer, funnel, and friends. You need 4 things: target, offer, funnel, conversation. Your business, you need the skill set of marketing, sales, packaging and pricing, and behind the scenes management. We need tools like a heighten the hunger statement and an offer and things like that. It's not rocket science. We're going to continue to get through that model, all of those models, into tomorrow, and by the end of the day, you'll have a lot of that all put together in your head, and you'll see it. You might have some questions right now in the process. Some of the questions that we often get are listed here. Like, how do I find people that are buying stuff? Who should I try to sell to? What should I offer right now? That's a big question right now in our content, right? How do I charge my full rate? I saw that in chat or something, like, what if people just aren't buying what I'm selling, right? What practices are most important to keep calm because I'm not sure I'm making good decisions? There's so many questions. That decision nausea, so many questions. And the minute you get them answered, you're going to have new questions like this. How do I make money now, tomorrow? What should I do on Monday? I see how to build my first offer, but that's not going to get me all the way. I've done the math. Even if I have 200 people in that offer, it's not going to get me where I want to go. Or I can see that I need 10, but I have no idea how I'm going to find those 10, right? What about my website? Do I need to do social media? I've been my own worst enemy in the past. How am I going to keep my mindset okay? Because it's not what you're teaching that I'm worried about, Melissa. It's myself that I'm worried about. I know. Here we are about halfway through, and as we move through the event, you are going to have a lot of tools and knowledge that you can use, and you will have some collateral in place, and you will have 2 options as you move through that. Option number 1 will be to take the weekend's information and to just use that on your own and implement. And some of you are great implementers, and you can go far with implementing something, but you will get stuck at some point. If you have a thorough business, you will need support. You can let us help you. I and my team can coach you to build your business this year, right now, and we can tell you how. Instead of when you get the money, when you get the time, when you know your idea, when you stop your job, when you're finished with your dissertation. But now we can show you how, right now. As in the rest of the weekend, we can show you how from a different vantage point. So remember Krista, a 500% growth in less than 6 months. 8 times, Alicia said 8 times her income. And the way we can do this with you is in the program that we offer called the Winner's Inner Circle. This is a signature business coaching and training program. It has absolutely everything you need in this program. 12 months of live support, group coaching, private one-on-one time. You are supported 100% in this program, this package that we created just for you, just for all of you here in this room. You can get to 6 and 7 figures with this model and these 12 months together, all the way to that reliable, repeatable income. So what is it exactly? I know you're wondering, what does that really look like? So number one, lots of mindset. And I know for many of you that's been as important as the tools you're learning in the room. How to begin to think about yourself, how to wake up to whether you're in a canyon of some sort, whether you're under a chair, if, you know, why is it that you haven't quite made this thing real, whatever the thing is. Lots of Q&A, individual coaching to help you get clear and keep your mindset clear. That's the first benefit. The second benefit is those live Q&A sessions with me and my trained coaches. You've met so many of them in the room today. You get those specific questions that you are going to have all the time. And we have at least one touch point a week for you to ask those questions and get your answers. That's right. Every week, there's not going to be a week where you can't ask a question somewhere. That means that you can continue to implement right away. You're not going to be slowed down, which is a common problem I faced when I was trying to get support in coaching programs that I was in. I didn't have enough support. I couldn't get my answers to my questions fast enough. I couldn't move as fast as I needed to. So what happens then? We get to that quitting cliff and we're hanging upside down and we don't have the support. Laura is one of our photographers. She had a photography business. It was really hard to convert the kind of income she needed to convert. It was also a lot of lugging equipment and stuff around. And so she worked into our program and she learned how to change all that. Benefit number 3 is a live deep dive implementation boot camps, not one, but several. We've got 3 in the year. It's actually 4, I forget, because I always forget our first New Year boot camp, which is chock full of amazing mindset and goal setting. My team of coaches and I, we run these boot camps, and you guys, these boot camps are like intensive play bigs. 1 day long, usually, sometimes a day and a half. You get the results. You get to craft things that you absolutely need. Learn how to attract clients with the right, freebie or share. Learn how to convert those clients with sales techniques you actually practice in the room in those. Build a really sturdy list so you can get that exponential growth, all those friends falling into that funnel. Number 4, private coaching. And I actually think that this is the critical thing that folks need. It isn't you can get through a program without private coaching, but it's a lot harder. If you're going down that course and you're heading towards the non-strike, our coach can just with one session, a few words, one powerful question can get you right back on track to that nice strike and that high level income. But if you don't have that, you're constantly falling into a gutter. You have to roll around in there. You have to feel like, oh, I think I'm in a gutter. Now I have to get myself out. So that private coaching is especially helpful. Any coaching, group coaching helps that, but especially private coaching. I love Laura. Laura actually, and Emily and I know each other from college. She says, I can't thank you enough for your incredible coaching. She signed an artist in London for $6,476. She couldn't believe it when she did that, and she continued on to do, of course, over and over and over. Accountability and Pomodoro work sessions. We have our team leading these sessions so you can come together. Those are structured. Hi, welcome. What are you working on today? 20 minutes of work. We dive in, come back. What happened? How are you doing? Did anyone get stuck? Great. Go back into the work session. Some of you do much better if you've got some compadres to work with and if you're working on the right thing. And some of you get a little distracted if you're working all to your own timeline. But if you come into the room and a coach says, wait a minute, don't work on that. Work on this, please. Remember that? Let's work on that other thing. So we want the right thing in the right order. Those accountability sessions, those Pomodoro sessions are great for that. Step-by-step DIY trainings with worksheets and action steps. You've read a lot about Kylie. There's a nice fun picture of Kylie early on. Winner's Inner Circle benefit number 7 is to take the guesswork out of automating. Oh, there are so many questions about which tools to use and all of that. And we give you behind the scenes update on tech and back-end trainings and things like that to make sure that you've got the right resources right now for right now. Things change very fast over this year to next year to next year, which platform to use, which CRM to use. You need to know those things so you're not, trying to figure that out on time. Remember how Cheryl said she would do this and she would do that, and I don't know about you, but I did too. I would try to teach myself something and work really hard to learn. Actually, I'm going to call you out, Samantha. I remember you saying that to me as you were in the room. Like, that was a big thing. That, I'm just going to learn this. I got this. I'm going to learn this. Like, yeah, and hours to learn it, get good at it, etc. When honestly, maybe it's not even the thing we really need to be doing. A big key thing about this program is the community. You heard Michael say he got as many answers from the community, not even the coaches in the community, but just the community, as much support and clarification and all of that from the community as he did from others. You remember Marianne? I love that picture of Marianne. So 90K increase in 12 months. Lifetime access to the trainings, the worksheets, and the community. You heard Doris perhaps a little while ago. One of the things I love about our folks is that they do go back to the trainings and they absorb and absorb. But here's the thing. The Winner's Inner Circle is put together because it's difficult to get the results that you want if you don't have the active interaction with the client, the coach in some sort of form to answer your question and keep that bowling ball going straight. Right? So that lifetime access to the tools is important, but then after you've watched the tool, which is really important because our coaches can't download hours of content and training to you in their private session, but they can say, go watch module number 5 halfway through. You're going to get a lot out of that, and then come back and tell me what you got. Now you come to the session. Hi, here's my question. I watched that thing. Thank you so much. You didn't have to pick through 12 hours of training. You just had to listen to which training they pointed you to. Much easier. So if you're like me, you buy a DIY product and you don't really listen, or you try very hard to be a good girl or a good guy and map yourself through that, and then you're not really sure how to apply it, or you've lost all this time and now you have to go make lunch for somebody or whatever, then it's important to get into a program with enough support. So remember, just a few years ago, not that long, I had to start completely over in my coaching business. I went from 25,000 in the year to, which was bad, right? I couldn't support myself or any, the kids at all. Boy, that's a funny little picture there, isn't it? But when I cracked the code, I got to 181,000 in under 2 years. And now I'm able to make that big impact like many of you want to make, et cetera. I'm able to build my creative dreams. So remember, to convert that 6 or 7 figures in income, as a creative doing what you really love, you're going to need support in 5 arenas, right? First, you're going to need that marketing Clover support to build out all of that Clover. You're going to need that no-sell sales cycle and the skills to implement sales. You're going to need to get a leveraged set of offers, that flight path, priced exactly right. Otherwise, we can lose a lot of time and we can lose a lot of money. We need that success mindset to keep us going. So when, like Alicia, we say, you need to charge, let's have you charge twice as much, that you don't go to, well, I've been trying, but nobody will pay that, and I'm not sure. Well, then let's work on not just your mindset, but let's work on your specific understanding of why they should pay it, so that when you're in those sales conversations, we can convert that and stay steady and get the right rate from a client. We need to have an engaged and growing list. We can't be operating in a vacuum. And we need a few tools and tech behind the scenes. You will also need life coaching skills, business coaching skills, practice, all of that model that works and people already be doing it. You will need the things that will help you keep moving and accomplishing quickly so you can get to that outcome. And that is why I created the Inner Circle. So this year there are 2 tracks in the Winner's Inner Circle, the Creative Entrepreneur track or the Coach Certificate track. And in the Coach Certificate track and the Creative Entrepreneur track, you get so much. The Creative Entrepreneur track is for people who want to learn to build a business and launch a new part of their business. Or in my case, what I did, turning the Titanic around. I was already running with so much on top of that ship that was not operating very well. I had to turn it around before I hit an iceberg. And honestly, I think I was sinking already. So if you're wanting to harness your creative talents or your skill and you want to transform your freelance career or your private practice into a long-term business, this is a right program for you, the Creative Entrepreneur track. And if you want to make your existing creative business much, much more profitable, the Entrepreneur track is right for you. If you also want to build a business and relaunch your coaching business, you have a coaching business and you want to learn how to do that, learn all those entrepreneurial building skills, but you also want to develop your skill set as a coach. You want to be coached by me to learn how I coach and what I've learned around coaching. You also want to learn about business coaching and add that to your toolkit. You want to be, official as a coach and get your supervision and your CSE coach certificate and your certification and your ICF credential. If you want those things, the coach certificate pathway is the right one for you. By the way, you all might enjoy seeing this older picture of Jess. I'd like to keep it in here because it's fun to see the change. Like, she has come into her own, hasn't she? So I love what she says here, and so we'll keep on moving. So there are 3 ways to become a coach and thrive in our community. A certificate level, which is the track I just mentioned. Certification, which is everything that you get in the certificate track, a full year of training, business coaching skills for the first 90 days. We help you map through what everyone else in the entrepreneurial track is going through, business coaching and building out your business. Life and business skills, coaching skill set. Q&A, practice sessions, peer pods, working with real clients, and all of that. That's in the certificate pathway. If you're in certification, you're also going to get feedback and supervision at a higher level, and you're going to add trainings and opportunity to support and lead in the room. And if you're wanting your credential, we are helping the folks who come through our certification process or they want their credential, they get the support and structure to be ready to apply for an associate certified coach credential with the ICF. And so you need help to get that all done. The Winner's Inner Circle, both of the tracks, is really unique because we do not focus on a quick fix in this program, folks. It is not about that. You'll hear folks that have stuck, stayed, and played with us for years because we are a solution that keep helping them not only earn better, but then earn better and earn better and better. We need time with you. So that year is important. This is not a quick fix. It provides a strong, holistic, foundational set of principles. You are never going to forget them. You will be able to use them over and over and over again. So this is not a training in the tactic of the day, right? This is a calm down and fund yourself forever map. You get the full spectrum of training. It's proven. I've coached for 30 years and we've proven this over 15. You get the support of the whole life of you and your client. You get that. You get to support the life of you and your client for the whole life. This is trend proof, recession proof, politics proof, and life proof. And I do really mean that. I have people every year say to me when we're in an election year, like, I'm just going to wait because I just don't know what this it matters. Like if this person or this person wins, he wins, she wins, which is a fun thing that we finally can say, right, here in this particular moment in time. It doesn't matter. And we have this idea, when I find out what the political, end game is here in November, then I'll start building my business. You still have a need to build your business. You're still going to have to find clients. And guess what? Those people are still going to need your services. And if they don't have money, they're going to still need to, they're probably still going to need to have your services just because they can't find the money. They will find the money somewhere if you are the right fix for them, if you are on that crosshair. So we really are politics proof, life proof, recession proof, and trend proof. And it will allow you to produce that reliable, repeatable, steady, and stable income. So you're probably wondering what all of this costs, so let's get to that. So the program is that we've done all the math, we've added everything up. Honestly, you guys, that sales training alone, you're going to get some of that tomorrow. First thing in the morning, you're going to get sales training, very important sales training. Just that, $100,000, that training. So this program is worth $107,800, weird number there. We know that's super out of reach. By the way, I have paid at least that to learn what I am teaching you, absolutely. We brought the price down to $15,000. That is the normal price for this Winner's Inner Circle either track. And this is what that normally costs. But before I explain what it costs right now, I want to talk a little bit about the bonuses that we're offering you. Watch the bonuses get downloaded here. These are designed to help you overcome what might hold you back. So bonus number 1 is this What's in a Name training, because naming is super important. I mentioned it to you. So you've got to name your business, then you got to name your offers, then you got to name your, freebies and all of that. This is a $500 value. It's totally free when you join today. We also put in the Find Your Golden Clients training. That's a bonus, also $500. Those clients that are so awesome because they're really easy to work with and they bring great ideas to the table and they love your products and services and they never complain, and then they tell 17 friends. For some of you, you're that client in the room for me. Thank you. We have a lot of those in the room. And we had several people that have hardly been in our world who also brought 4 of their friends, 5 of their friends, whatever. We had 4 people sign up last night that were referred by somebody in the room. So right on. We want those golden clients, and that's a $500 training, how you get those golden clients. $1 Million Sales Video Training and Workbook. This is a really fun training that was, 6 hours of training or whatnot in sales alone, and you get to watch me coach sales in that little training. It's a $1,000 offer for free. You also get the action timeline. This is really important. It's how you move through your work with yourself. For an entire year, what should you be doing every week, every month, in which area of your training. It's a very useful tool. That's a $1,000 value. It took us a long time to develop that, and it's included for free. And up to 7 associate coach trainings. These are personally chosen experts to teach skills and provide personal support that will allow you to grow and scale your business that we don't really hunker down and teach you in our model, and we know you need. So for example, Sarah Alapin is one of our associate coaches. We partner with her not only in her business with our clients, providing some of her business services to our clients, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But also, she's an associate coach in our team, which means she comes in and does some trainings on networking and things like that, so that you all can learn how to do that. Christina Curie is also an associate coach here. She does a deep dive on email marketing and other kinds of marketing. She's an expert marketing strategist, and she can help you envision where your marketing should go for the offer that you have. Our team does that to a degree, but she knows marketing inside and out, and that's why we've got her on the team, and so on and so on. So those associate coaches are all included in your program. Deep dive training on topics like these in the associate coach training. So all of those things like social media and effective networking and website copywriting and all of that. So what's it going to cost? You're like, all right, what is it going to cost? So just let's consider the bonuses alone, about $18,500 if we add that up, just in the bonuses I mentioned right there, right? So how about the program itself? So that's what you get in the program, private business calls, everything that's listed there. A little hard to see. Maybe, Isaac, you can remove me for a minute. And as we add that, and then in the coach certificate track here, also, it includes small group coaching, training, hands-on, right? So I'm not even sure that I redid the add up on this. I might have not added all of it, but it's at least $105,000. So we know that the whole total program is at least, I don't know, the math may not be squaring now, but well over $107,000. But we know, you guys, that $105,000, $107,000, etc., it's not doable. We know that's not reachable, and we don't want you to pay that at all. It's not even going to cost you, it's not going to cost you $105, but it's also not going to cost you $50, and it would be well worth it. By the way, I've had people pay me $50,000 for this training, all the training I've now collected, but I don't need to charge that anymore. Like I said, our regular price is that $15,000. That is a serious value. If you want me to help you make $100,000, $50,000, it's, and I'm going to teach you how to do that over and over and over again. from what you're doing, well, maybe paying $15,000 is a good bargain. But today we have something better for you. The winner's inner circle is actually $9,997 with a $997 deposit paid this weekend. So the price of the program is that. This is a program that will allow you to jumpstart your business right now. The Winner's Inner Circle, if you know that this is right for you and you want to be all in, you can head to the dashboard and just check that button right there that says, I'm all in. Join the Winner's Inner Circle program. If you're curious about the Coach Certificate program and you want to jump into that, you can go over there, click on that button, curious about the Coach Certification, click that button and jump right in. Maybe you want to speak to a program expert because you're just not sure. And this is very common, folks. We have a lot of questions before we jump in. Some of you know that it's time. When you get into this program, you are cutting a check for speed and ease. You might be wondering why I'm knocking the price down, because I want you to win and I want you to be able to make a decision today. I want you to be able to jump in, get the tools, and be back here next year on my success panel. That's what I want for you. I want you to not hesitate anymore, not when then, when I got it figured out, outside of the room, but now. So I'm giving you a way to do that with bonuses and a lot of value because I can now. That's because of my success. I can give that to you. I am passionate about all these really cool things that you all are doing, getting out in the world. I don't do this to make money, just to make money. I definitely am happy about the money we make now doing this, but I'm a creative. I'm doing it because it's so fun to watch myself, my team, our content lift so many people and watch them lift others in the world. So we are really passionate about that. And we want this to be a super easy yes for you. So you may have a question. Is the Coach Certificate track double the price or is it the same price? While you're in the room here, while we are here at Play Big, the Coach Certificate pathway is the exact same price as the Winner's Inner Circle Entrepreneurial Pathway. Exact same price tag, all right? So you want to choose that right path to get you started right away. And no, the rate for the Coach Certificate program will not be available after Play Big. We do need to know that you're in. I want you to jump in. Pay the deposit today. Pay the deposit before you leave the event. And if you're paying in full, you will receive a bonus 60-minute session with me and your coach after the event. So as we get you going into your program, you will get me there right next to your coach, talking to you, talking to the coach and saying, how about if we do it this way? How about if we do it that way? I will tell you right now, that's a $10,000 bonus right there. I can see in 5 minutes what we need to do along with your coach. I can help. I can see what the coach is envisioning. They're great. And I can say, I love that. Let's also add this. Let's also add that. And before you know it, we've got that entire flight path built out so we can calm down, breathe easy, and build it over the year. So it's really a great bonus. I'm wanting to make it easy for you. Once you pay the deposit and jump into the program, we're going to ask you to come to lunch. That is when the program starts. It starts at lunch tomorrow. That's the welcome lunch. We want to celebrate and benefit from your first program training right there in the room. The program, your progress, your community, and your next level all begins tomorrow. So let's review. You get access to all the bonuses. You get the Winner's Inner Circle, all of it, everything for $9,997. And we want you to remember that yesterday is not ours to recover, because whatever has happened to you so far, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you did it before at all. What mattered, not even yesterday, actual yesterday matters. The only thing that matters right now for you is whether or not you're going to allow yourself to walk out of that cavern, rappel down that cliff, and walk into the rest of your life, that dream that you had yesterday, that play big goal that you defined. Ours is tomorrow is to win. Tomorrow is ours to win or lose. And I want you to win it. I want you to own it. And I want you to make that decision tonight. So go to that dashboard. I'm all in. Join the Winner's Circle. We're going to open up the Coach's Corner so you have a chance to talk to everyone in the Coach's Corner. If you have any questions, anyone that has questions, even if you think, and folks, really hear me, even if you think you're not really going to build this thing yet, but you've been here this long. Jump into the coach's corner and talk to them about it. Well, I'm not sure. It seems like it's not time. They're not there to sell you. We don't sell, and I'm not going to teach you to sell anything. You'll learn this tomorrow. I'm there to support you to do what you're trying to do in the way that works. And you would be surprised what we can figure out. Lots of different ways to skin the cat called get in. If you have questions about whether this is right for you, I'll be over in the coach's corner as well. You can come and talk to me. Our coaches will be there. We're going to take a break about 25 minutes right now, I think is right. Is that right, Producer Caitlin? Something like that? About 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. Come over and join us in the coach's corner. Ask us the questions. Tell us why you're hesitating. Don't be shy. We have no judgment. We don't have a big fat opinion. I just want you to get this transformation. Here's the thing. When you join tonight, when you join before you leave the room, you get all the bonuses and the amazing pricing, but even more, everything changes for you from the moment that you've joined. And I want to take a moment to call out, we have already got a member in the program. Donna Jo, congratulations. It is so nice to know that you're in the program and on board. I don't know if she's in the room. She might actually be like, I'm in, I can go to bed, I can rest, I don't even need to be here. Is Donna Jo in the space? I don't know. Just come off a mute and say hi. There she is. Come off mute, Donna Jo, for a minute. Can we bring her up mute? Can you guys bring her up mute? Oh, sorry, that's hard.
To unmute themselves. Okay, so it looks like the host just unmuted me. I was trying to unmute. Hi, everybody. I don't know if can you see me or?
Yes, we can. Well, I can see you. They can see you in the grid. Don't worry.
Well,
But yeah, I'm so excited for you. And it was a journey to figure it out, but you did it, girl.
Cats and kittens, I cannot even tell you. Can I tell you what I'm doing sidebar right now while I'm listening? I'm drafting my Tiny Smile Productions, my little fledgling freelance writing gig that I do as an actress and writer. I'm drafting my first agreement because I just landed a guy for $3,000 a month, which is going to help me pay for this next year, Winner's Circle.
She just
And
paid for it. She
and
just paid for it.
Right. And I was so hesitant because I was like, oh, $3,000's the top. So instead I made that the bottom. Melissa literally coached me for like 5 seconds the night before the meeting. And I went in and I was just cool as a cucumber. And he, I once
took
had
it.
a sommelier tell me that I could sell ice to Eskimos, which I think is probably culturally not the right reference. But at any rate, I'm just so thrilled and I'm so excited to learn what I don't know because there's a lot I don't know. And I
Well,
know.
Donna Jo, I'm so excited to have you in the program, and I'm really
thrilled.
pleased and happy for you. The journey you've been on, it will never be the same. So